Decision 2018 coverage is presented by IT&E. Explore your world.
Welcome back to the One Guam Gubernatorial Debate on Decolonization, streaming live at the University of Guam Calvo Fieldhouse. At this time, we will move on to our third main question. Do I have all the candidates at their podiums? The third main question is for former Senator Lou Leon Guerrero. You will have 2 minutes to respond. Will the question panelists randomly select a question from the secured box labeled Round 1? Question panelists, you may begin.
Question A4. During a political status change, how will Guam's defense be affected? How will you ensure Guam's safety?
Can you repeat that again?
During a political status change, how will Guam's defense be affected? How will you ensure Guam's safety?
I believe that if whatever status that we choose from, yes, defense is going to be affected. If we choose FAS, then I think we could still be associated with the United States and still have the advantage of that defense. If we choose statehood, definitely we have full integration and the defense will still be affected. Will not be affected. We will continue to have the defense. Independence would be the one where we probably would have to require our own local, own internal defenses. But there's no reason why we cannot have alliances with other foreign countries or even have an alliance with the United States. And we can feel safe. But the more concerning thing that I believe is how are we today prepared to go into the future? How can we be prepared to really select a status when our finances are in disarray, our financial house is not in order, our economy is not stabilized, we have a slumping economy, we have an underfunded hospital, we have a lot of challenges today that we need to really correct before we move forward into the future with whatever political status that we so choose. But whatever status we do choose, I feel defense will continue on because it's something that we need in terms of security and safety for our people of Guam.
Thank you. For the rebuttal, each candidate will have 1 minute to respond. And first, we will start with Senator Dennis Rodriguez Jr. You may begin.
I want to thank Senator Leon Guerrero for her response. And really, it really depends on what direction we're going to take. And defense, just like healthcare or anything else, will be very important. And so it's going to matter on how we as a government, in whatever our people decide, in ensuring that there are agreements in place. Guam is a tip of the spear. We've always heard that. So whether it be the United States, the relationship with the United States or other countries, defense would always be in the forefront, and we always have the advantage because of our geographical location. And so defense, for me, I don't think will be a problem in any direction that we're going to take because we will be able to have that leverage with any country that we choose to associate with. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio. You may begin.
Hafide. Our people are the most patriotic, loving, dedicated, and defended people in our world. Look around. We are the United States, and no matter what status we take, we will be defended. The United States has stood with us for over 100 years. Our men, our women, my children have been serving the military just like many of yours, and they'll continue to do so. Whether it be free association, independence, or statehood, we'll continue to have the United States here. I don't envision a state of affairs where Guam does not have an agreement of some sort with the United States and our military. Our men, our women, our fathers, mothers have served in our military for many years. We'll continue to do so. We need to negotiate with the Washington, D.C., of course, with our delegate, working with the White House, making sure that our representative and our issues, our needs are met. And this is not just in defense. Everything from social programs, infrastructure, we will negotiate a status that will make sure that we, our people of Guam, will prevail. We've been resilient for hundreds of years, will remain so. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Senator Frank Uggan Jr. You may begin.
Thank you very much for that excellent question. You know that health and safety of our people is always paramount, and that, I'm sure, is going to be at the heart of the decisions of our people. Statehood, integration. Most likely, nothing will change with national defense. Independence, we need to, as an independent country, negotiate through treaties, such as the Status of Forces Agreement, that one country, independent country, can negotiate with another independent country. Free association, that again is going to be subject to the negotiations and the discussions with the powers that be. In this case, it would be the U.S. So as it applies, that's one of the reasons why it's very critical that this self-governance study be conducted so that these questions, key questions on national defense, on cultural preservation, and also on other issues are part of the information disseminated to our people, so our people will make a well-informed decision.
Thank you very much, Senator Uggan. Next, we have former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez. You may begin.
Well, let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, that no matter what we push forward on our self-determination and in our decolonization, who says that the military is going to be not in the mix? They are here. They own us, lock, stock, and barrel. We are so important to the national security of the United States of America. If indeed we sit down and negotiate with them, that's one of the big things they'll say, it's got to stay. It's just natural, so we shouldn't worry about that. I think sometimes we feel unsafe when they're here. But ladies and gentlemen, let's be honest with ourselves. We are so far and so deep into the United States of America that if you went out there and asked the question of the people of Guam, they want status quo. But the status quo isn't good enough because we have no meaningful participation in the way that the laws are written for us. That's what we got to go after first. Have a say on those laws that says one size fits all. We don't want that anymore.
Thank you very much, Governor Gutierrez. Thank you, candidates. Now, the fourth main question will be for Senator Frank Uggan Jr. You will have 2 minutes to respond. Will the question panelists randomly select a question from the secured box labeled round 1? And question panelists, you may begin.
Question A2. What is your perspective on the words reunification and Micronesia?
Can you please repeat the question?
What is your perspective on the words reunification and Micronesia?
Thank you very much. The term reunification to me, if in fact you were united at one point in time, then you would reunite with that particular jurisdiction or that particular island or country. So unification would be separate and apart, using as an example Guam as an island and the Federated States of Micronesia. Now you're talking about unification versus the possibility of other jurisdictions that have been unified in the past. The second part of the question, I apologize, I was writing it down and I wasn't able to reunification, and Micronesia. We have to recognize our geographical location here in Guam connects all of Micronesia. It does not divide Micronesia. And in this